So depression is not just a chemical imbalance. It's kind of an oversimplification that's been oversold to people and a misunderstanding of what's actually going on in the brain. So when people are depressed, when you're feeling depressed, it's not that your brain is like lacking serotonin, lacking dopamine. So, oh, here's some more serotonin, here's some more dopamine. It'll make you feel better. It's more that different neural networks are not firing and communicating and coordinating correctly. That's kind of a fancy way of saying that even though it's not necessarily a chemical imbalance, we can still use medications, a chemical, to help treat and improve that. Are you a visual learner? Because sometimes I like to draw this out. So I'm not the world's best artist, but I will do my best here. So if we have these little like spiky guys, these are brain cells, and they talk to each other by sending out branches called dendrites. That's how we have thoughts, feelings, emotions, all those things. When we give someone an antidepressant, something like Prozac or Zoloft, that increases serotonin in the brain. And so you might be thinking, okay, so we're increasing serotonin in the brain and that's gonna help me feel better, so isn't my serotonin thrown off? But it's not actually the serotonin that necessarily makes you feel better, at least not right away. You know, when we start people on these medications, we quote them as saying, this could take up to 6 to 8 weeks to reach full effect. The serotonin goes up in your brain pretty quickly. It goes up in your body pretty quickly. If you have side effects from these medications, those might start right away because that serotonin is coming up, but the brain is not actually healed or changed at this point. What we see is by bathing these neurons in extra serotonin and kind of creating this environment, we see those branches kind of start to get branchier and new connections form, and the neural networks kind of rewire and reshape and form in new and interesting ways that to help get the brain like unstuck. Because when we're depressed or when we're anxious and those networks are not coordinating correctly, it's like we're getting stuck in those negative thought patterns. And so it's not like here's some Zoloft and you take it and you immediately it sunshines and rainbows, but by taking it consistently every day, you can support this rewiring going on. I like to draw this out too because we see this same like branching brain changes happening in high quality psychotherapy, not just with medications. So we see this with high quality psychotherapy. Other more invasive interventions, things like ECT with electricity, newer interventions like ketamine, they're also working on this like branching here going on. And most of the time, people could benefit from medications or therapy. Often it's both, so they really do complement each other. We see the biggest bang for our buck, the most fastest improvement when people are both taking their medications consistently and engaged in psychotherapy. So even though I have a prescription pad and I want to talk to people about pros and cons of different medication options, I also want people to be engaging in psychotherapy to help kind of enhance this whole process going on.